I believe. Yeah, this thing's on and we live. Just make sure everything is running good in the background here. Hello to my replay viewers or my viewers who are here with us on the replay. And of course, to my live viewers, what's going on? This is a live stream outside of the norm, outside of the typical live experience show. A lot of the subscribers and members here in the community and viewers have all come to love and enjoy, and one that I would love to, of course, get back here in the very near future, or here very soon in general. But it's been a while, and I've had a couple things pop up and just happen here in my life, but it's all good. It's all things for the good. A lot of you know, and I haven't really gone anywhere. I just kind of slowed down on the video production and still really am just now getting to the point to where, the studio, both levels are at a place where I believe I can produce content in a high quality way, or in a way that is deemed, of a high quality, deemed by you, the viewer, you, the audience members here in the community. Which, speaking of, I think is that my man Sparta Rules in the house? Let me see if I get the air horn. Let me know if the air horn's working right. Somebody out there, let me know if the air horn's working right. But Sparta Rules is happening. Sparta Rules, is good to see you, brother. It's good to see you. Be sure to hit the like button for me as you bounce in and out here, as we kind of get caught up. And I wanted to talk to the community and address the community. And as the title of this video live stream kind of indicates or points out, address like where's all the content gone? Or more importantly, what is the state of PC gaming in general? As the title also implies, that, if you're watching a replay, trying to add as much value here to our replay viewers, of course, but treat this video like a podcast, if you will, where most of the value will be delivered in an audio like format. I have essentially no supplemental B-roll or images. This is really a heart-to-heart or a direct conversation with the community at large, especially since it's been a while since I've published or we've scheduled a live stream, again, outside of the live experience. But again, shout out to Mrs. Mod, also running the chat and keeping everybody engaged. Salute. And salute to our channel members. I want to give y'all all, again, a round of applause, Mrs. Mod and Spider Hills, for continuing to support the channel. YouTube and the way its monetization features work, it all adds up, small or large, really, and they really do support the channel, as I am an independent channel and haven't got noticed yet enough to, get sent the expensive stuff, all the good stuff, all the good hardware. But nonetheless, that kind of takes us into the meat and bones of this conversation. And that is, the last video I left the community with was, a video where we assembled a gaming PC for under $700. And that video didn't get as much traction or views that it typically would, say, a year or two ago. I think PC gaming right now is in an awkward place, and that awkward place is actually a good place, because if you think about it, a lot of us who have, saved up or wanted to upgrade to a particular component, say a graphics card, 5000 series or 7000 series, or even a higher end Ryzen based CPU, right? Or an NVIDIA RTX 40 series card, or a higher end 30 series card, whatever the upgrade, motherboard, CPU, graphics card alike, you'll likely already have achieved that. So it's like, what's the next hurdle for you as a PC gamer, right? Does that mean benchmark videos and build videos interest you more or less? Or is it more so the conversation or the inclusion of being a PC gamer that really makes the content and myself as a content creator special, right? Like the ability to curate, or curate, kind of sounds like create and curate put together. But the ability to deliver content or publish content here on YouTube around a niche, that niche being PC gaming for enthusiasts or PC hardware for enthusiasts and gamers, because those are two separate categories. right? And I think that the market or the platform right now highly favors those who just want to play video games. It's making consoles, the argument of a console more and more relevant, being that, again, the mindset right now is that gamers really just want to play games. At the end of the day, that's always been the end game, pun intended, if you will, but that's always been the end game. So there's like PC gaming or PC hardware in general in an awkward place, maybe due to platform saturation, so many different choices, and consumers unsure if they should make that costly upgrade or jump right into it or not, right? These things have shifted the market once again to those who favor a mindset that at the end of the day, I just want to play, say, some of the upcoming new games, something we're going to talk about here a little bit down the road in this video. To say you only want to, play games. You don't want the highest end CPU, right? You don't want to max out your monitor's refresh rate beyond 144 FPS or 60 hertz, right? Maybe you just want a streamlined gaming experience. That's been the talk or the chatter here in both platform segments, both console and PC, right? You don't necessarily need a super high-end or a super high-end build or a super high-end graphics card to have a measurable experience. That's something we talked about in the video essay I did. You can give that video a watch if you haven't yet. You can find it in the most recent playlist. I don't have a video to plug it here in the chat, but you can find it here on the channel. It's up, and I kind of lay out the reasons why you don't need an expensive graphics card, or you really don't need a super high-end expensive PC to have a decent or an enjoyable gaming experience, right? What we call here a targeted gaming experience, which is different for a lot of us. Once you look at the hardware that's available on the market, and you say, well, do I need an 8-core CPU? Do I need a 6-core CPU? Do I need a graphics card with more than 6 gigabytes of VRAM? Do I need a graphics card with 12 or 16 gigabytes of VRAM? It always points back to the type of games you want to play, how you want to experience them. That is essentially the equation for finding your targeted gaming experience, right? Like, what's important to you? High refresh rate or detail and quality in your games? It's really going to vary between user to user. It has historically been like that for the longest time, and really with monitors becoming low and low in price and still retaining like decent quality, like being able to pick up a really decent 2560 by 1440p monitor for around a little over 200 USD, between 200 to 250 USD, and still looking at a refresh rate of at least 144 hertz. I mean, that alone right there could define your gaming experience in terms both between how smooth the game will run and feel, and how much detail you'll be able to unlock at a higher resolution with those extra pixels at 2560 by 1440p. I mean, monitors and the significance and importance is an area that I really believe I need to circle back and revisit, right? Like, because in previous content, we've said that the monitor is the window to your PC's soul. Everything that you essentially put together is manifested or outputted by your monitor. That is how detailed or the quality you're able to run your games, even if that is at 1080p. Is that between ultra? Damn, I can get it right. I give myself the air horn, but there's a significant difference between ultra settings and low settings. Maybe not so much like medium high to ultra, depending on the game. That's debatable. Graphics are, again, subjective. What may be detailed, what may look good enough to me may not look good enough to you, or the standards may even be reversed, right? Like, your standards might be a little lower in your games. Maybe you don't need to run your games at 1080p ultra settings. If you play competitive games, that's certainly going to be at a less detailed quality of settings, like medium or low, maybe even depending on the game, to maximize FPS. But when you're looking at single player games or slow burn games, those are the type of games that I typically play a lot here. I saw a poll on YouTube that also asked that same question, and single player games ran away with it by far. Not even close compared to some of the other options. I mean, single player story driven games still seem to be the way to go. You can still enjoy them at higher refresh rates, but games like Fallout 4 or Skyrim, games like that don't necessarily need to rely on a high refresh rate. They more so, you can get the most out of those games when you're able to up the level of quality, both in resolution and detail, right? Like 1440p ultra settings would at 144 FPS or 144 hertz or on a 144 hertz monitor would look good and run good compared to say 1080p at 60 FPS on a 60 hertz monitor. But again, the conversation circles back to games and the significance and the importance of your monitor. A lot of consumers are also really just content and happy with their options or what they have available or what they're using now in terms of their hardware. Or maybe they made a side grade when the GPU market kind of sizzled down a little bit. I mean, this could also be the aftermath that we're dealing with, going through the techdemic for what was about 2.5 years. And not only that, we went through 2 GPU techdemics, one before the big one. There was a mini GPU techdemic, and then there was also a RAM epidemic, and then we turned around and we had a GPU epidemic. So it was almost like just a silicone situation, if you will, that consumers, PC gamers, we had to bear extra cost between paying for overpriced components that were way beyond their value proposition, or we had to deal with shortages and we had to wait to complete our builds, or we had to compromise and go with a component or go in a direction that originally wasn't intended in our hardware plan, right? Spider Rule says 100% true, right? Like when you look at it, it's kind of like what mindset are we in as enthusiasts and gamers? Enthusiasts, we always want the same. We essentially want the same thing. Like PC gamers always want more. Enthusiasts always want more. That's why enthusiasts overclock, use exotic cooling, things like that. Beefy cooling, cooling solutions like loops, closed loops, or really beefy 360 millimeter AIOs. But for the typical gamer, you might be able to get away with, say, the stock cooler that comes with just about any Ryzen CPU and the stock cooler that comes with an Intel CPU, or going with just a little beefier like CPU fan or heat fan or heat array, if you will, just a beefier CPU cooler. You can go with an aftermarket CPU cooler, right? Something like a Cooler Master or Be Quiet. Spider Rule says high FPS. I'm sorry, let me move this over a little bit here. Sorry, y'all. That's live for you. Spider Rule says high FPS and somewhat decent graphics people are willing to put up with. Right. I mean, and that's also because this could depend on the game. Like, not all PC games are super detailed oriented, or their base graphic set or their graphical art design doesn't necessarily cause for a higher quality of detail versus, say, getting the most out of fluid and smooth animations and frames in general and low frame times. But decent graphics, I mean, again, once you look at games like God of War, that, to be honest, I mean, I know you see, I mostly see it on YouTube, but God of War looked pretty good on a PS4. I know it was running on, in a custom engine and what have you, that console corporate magic running in the background. But if you look at the graphics, the game didn't look that bad. We weren't like that at a time, 10 years ago from 2004. That just wasn't the case. You couldn't look at a game from 1994 and 2004 and be like, wow, this game really looks good, right? Like, that just wouldn't be the case. But you look at a game like God of War on the PS4 and say, hey, the game still looks pretty impressive. Of course, it looks better on PC, but decent graphics people are willing to put up with, and necessarily not splurge into making a decision of buying a graphics card that's north of around 1,000, right? Like 1K or even higher. maybe they want to still hover around that $300 to $500 range and add to, finish their build, upgrade their build, say going from a CPU with integrated graphics, right, to get it, just to get even a little bit more out of their experience or out of their games. I guess that kind of goes hand in hand, right? Sorry, y'all, working out the kinks, but to me, that's where the focus of the market appears to be headed, and that's focusing on just getting a quality or decent gaming experience. When you look at a console or what a 150 to about a 200, I mean, I see them going for no more than $200, but even a PS4 Pro has the ability to run just about any PC game right now on the market for the most part, and yet you can't, or be extremely difficult to build a PC equivalent to that console, to that PS4 that can do the same thing at that price point. That's way more enticing for a consumer, even if it's a young one with disposable income, or even an older one with disposable income. But we as consumers, you look at what's the more economical approach. If I just want to play video games, maybe again, like Spider Rules mentioned, high FPS. Most console games run between 30 and 50, depending on the game, right? And the graphics, although again look subjective, the console does a pretty good job using, upscaling and checkerboarding to enhance the, the visual image and the overall game. But it can still, at the end of the day, just be plugged in, and you can just play some games at about that $150 to $200 price point. That's a hard argument to make as even a hardcore and dedicated PC enthusiast. Although at the end of that build video I did, there was a teaser to an upcoming series that I've been toying on and exploring. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend you watch it after this one and, give me your take and kind of hang around to the end of the video. Don't fast forward to the end of the video. Watch the whole video. I don't think YouTube likes that a great deal. So, don't fast forward to the video. Watch the whole video and watch, the teaser at the end. If you haven't yet, I'm not going to disclose it here, but if you haven't yet, watch that video. I disclose the teaser at the end to an upcoming series that I've been toying with, and again, it just really focuses on the concept or the notion that we as gamers, at the end of the day, just want to enjoy games. We just want to play games. Do we want to, run them at the maximum settings? Absolutely. This is why we as PC gamers go that route, because we favor choice and options and how we experience said games, right? Like how detailed we want them to be, right? Do we favor FPS or do we favor detail? Right? Am I playing slow burn? I always mess that word up. Are we playing slow burn RPGs, or am I playing mostly FPS, Twitch games like Apex or Destiny, which these are all free to play games, right? These are all games you can build a $600-700 gaming PC and really enjoy at a level that would surpass, with maybe 2 to 3x the performance of a PS4. Right? Also passing its budget. Spider Rule says, right now I'm loving my Stream Deck. I've been replaying GTA 5 on medium to high setting. It's dope and runs so good. Awesome. I meant to ask you how have you been enjoying your Stream Deck? And does that mean have you balanced your time between Spider Rules, your gaming on your Stream Deck and gaming on your desktop PC, right? Which I know you've recently made a upgrade a few months back. So let us know. Sorry, I have to take a drink, but let us know right now here on the replay, or for my replay viewers and those who are watching with us live. Which, speaking of, it feels so good to be back alive. This live stream was originally aired for Saturday, but I had some things going on, which might be a perfect segue into the the mildly personal aspect of my life. I normally keep that private, but here recently, or a few months back, I had started in a new career field. We had some aspirations, Mrs. Mine and I, and some dreams and goals we personally had that had to be put on hold. But I took a new job, or new full-time job, and completely new to the field for me. But I totally enjoy it. It's demanded originally a little bit more of my time than I had originally planned, but the idea was to get my foot in and get settled in and make sure I could then build a, I guess you say, a manageable schedule around creating content and making videos, because at the end of the day, I needed to stress, and I can't stress this more than enough, that I was not retiring the channel. Like, we were not going anywhere. I noticed that across the board during my mini hiatus, when I was getting situated with my new work, that a lot of different tech tubers across the platform have been not complaining, but I guess groaning or be mentioning the lack of views that even large channels are starting to notice, are starting to dip down. Now, me personally, as a micro influencer and a micro tech YouTuber, I never really complained about views, because I personally feel if a video didn't perform well enough, then it was something that wasn't properly produced, right? And then you learn from that, and then you apply it to the next video, and then you continue to grow, right? But I mean, these are well-established large tech tubers that I've noticed. One, their content has slowed down, or they've taken a drastic approach to the, I guess you could say, the type of content that they're producing on their channel. I think that PC gaming is in a season where the excitement has kind of tuned down. There isn't as many exciting new launches. The RX 7000 series launch has come. Wasn't that much or significantly faster than last XX50 series 6000 graphics cards. Same thing with the RTX 40 series. It kind of came, and the launch fell flat as the graphics cards didn't have enough, I guess you could say, reach or potential to entice users to upgrade from a recently acquired 30 series graphics card that they might have been holding out with a 10 series graphics card. And so again, like Spotter Rose mentioned, people are content with their hardware and the experience that they're getting from their system, or from their console, from their system or that console, right? Like, also being that I'm saying I, but not myself, but like you, right? Like saying I haven't had a desire to upgrade my graphics card because I can play the games I want to play on my monitor, right? At the level of detail that's suitable enough for me, and I don't stream or create content. So this is all I need. I don't need to allocate, these monies to anything else. Depending on where you are, things might be tight for you, right? A lot of people are going through a lot of different things all over the globe here, but I never really complained about views. Again, I just chalk it up to maybe a video didn't perform well, or the live stream wasn't live enough, so it didn't have enough reach, which again, hit the like button for me. If you haven't yet, hit the like button for me. We can get this mini spritzer out to as many eyes as possible, but I don't necessarily complain about those things. But views are down for a lot of large, well-established tech creators, and they're starting to make mention of it, that the market is kind of shifting and coming up in a phase where those videos, say a GTX 1070 video would have been extremely popular 2-3 years ago, or a gaming PC under $1,000 would equally be just as popular 2 years ago. It would get tons of views, right? Like YouTube, that's a video YouTube would publish and distribute here on the platform because it has interest. But now that there's no interest in those kind of topics, gamers' interests lie in that very thing: video games, playing games, right? Benchmark videos, build videos, overclocking videos. If you notice, you haven't really seen a lot of them, right? Not on my subscription feed, and YouTube serves me up a lot of different tech creators on the home page, right? Those are videos that you aren't necessarily subscribed to, but videos and creators that YouTube may think you like. For me, that's a lot of other tech creators. So I've had my ears low enough to the ground. I've been following the conversation, although the drop in views, while more than likely way more significant for them, as their revenue highly reflects that. For me, I can kind of fall back, re-strategize, and get the conversation back to the point to where it's relevant and interesting enough for well-established PC gamers, right? Or enthusiasts and gamers, those who love overclocking, who love building, love tinkering, getting the most out of the system, taking it apart. Those kind of videos interest them. And then there's, consumers who just want to know how good is it at running this particular game or games, and how much is it going to cost, right? And for the most part, is it good enough? Because you get that question a lot too. Spider Rule says, yeah, I've been playing on both. I've played all the time. I mainly been playing on my Stream Deck on the couch and on bed, or when I'm too lazy to play on my PC. Nice. I mean, again, as the Stream Deck was a very interesting mobile concept, right? With going with as close to having a PC mobile device as possible. Not necessarily the Nintendo Switch, which I am a fan of. Like, I love my Nintendo Switch, but I mainly only play it for like classic games and Pokemon. But the idea of being able to play GTA 5 on medium settings from, say, the comfort of your couch on a screen that's, bright and vibrant is something that's otherworldly and still not even accomplishable, or something you can't accomplish on a console unless you're playing through your TV. But with the Stream Deck, I mean, that doesn't limit you to your sofa, right? You can play anywhere. Train, library, school. Maybe not at school. Don't play at school, kids. Only if you're allowed. But school, I mean, anywhere. Train, bus, again, it doesn't matter. You can just pick up and play your games if you're like me, and you could maximize your travel time. Normally when I'm traveling, I'm listening to podcasts or other tech creators here, especially recently, just kind of seeing if there's a trend, and there has been a trend. But yeah, nothing else like that. Awesome stuff, Spider Rules. Thanks for sharing with us. Any other games you've been playing? I know for me, if that was me, I'd be like trying to play in between my console and my PC. Not my console, my PC, my Stream Deck and my PC. Games like The Witcher, which I haven't finished. The Witcher, I probably never finished The Witcher. There's been a remake since I've been playing The Witcher come out for The Witcher, and I still haven't finished it. I don't think you can ever beat that game. You probably can. I have over 100 hours sunk in, and I didn't think I had even reached the tip of the iceberg. I was starting to get overloaded with all the quests and information. Such a beautiful game, though, at any resolution. 1080p, 1440p, 4K. Definitely, I highly recommend you play. But again, speaking of games, in my prediction, I will say that interest in new hardware and games will go hand in hand when we get new games here, or as we get closer to them here in 2023. New games like Star Wars, Jedi, Survivor, Starfield. Starfield is a game I'm really looking forward to and creating side content for on another channel. Diablo 4, if that's something you're interested in, and other games that are also coming out, to mention or not to mention the titles and the remakes that are also coming along here in 2023, and any other titles that arguably are worth picking up and revisiting. If you're like me, you got a catalog that's pretty behind. Upgrading your hardware might be right for you around the launch of these games, especially Dead Island 2. I think Dead Island 2 looks really, really good. I watched the gameplay walkthrough video, I believe it was, and I enjoyed the first Dead Island. And I normally didn't like or really play zombie games, but I did play Dead Island on the Xbox, and I enjoyed it. I said, this is okay for a zombie game. But I had, picked up a few other games, and I like to finish them and complete them. But there are a few remakes and games coming out. I mean, the new Final Fantasy 16, although it's a timed exclusive, might be worth for you to, again, at the end of the day, focus on playing games. That's where I imagine the focus will eventually lead to. I see Skitty Live is in the house. It's good to see you, brother. Skitty says Diablo 4 and Resident Evil 4. Right, though. Yeah, I mean Diablo 4. I mean, I never played the Diablo games. I did, used to like watching people play them, but I didn't play none of the Diablo games. But Resident Evil 4, man, Resident Evil 4 has a special place in my heart. That's up there in my top 5 probably all time favorite games. I really, really enjoyed them, or really enjoyed that game. And Mrs. Mod, she would always get mad at me if I didn't wait, if I played the game and she wasn't there to watch, right? Like, it just overall had a good story vibe, the atmosphere, the tension, all of those things just really went hand in hand. Sparta Rules says The Witcher, Metro. Oh man, Metro Exodus was, man, Metro Exodus. I bought at the time. I bought an overpriced RTX 2080 Super or RTX 2080 just so I can experience Metro Exodus. Is one of the games that had real time ray tracing. I really wanted to experience that game in 3440 by 1440p with ray tracing enabled, and the game just looked amazing. Story was good too. I got the evil ending. I believe I think he went to hell. I think the train went to hell for me. Not surprised being my decisions, but yeah, Metro Exodus, solid game in my opinion, worth picking up. Phasma, oh, I don't know that game. Oh, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Yes. Matter of fact, me and Skitty Live was just talking about that game. I played a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5. That game too looked good on the PS4 if you think about the graphics and just the cutscenes in that game. I mean, it was just an overall bussin' experience. Yeah, I use bussin'. Sue me. Okay. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, that game, solid game. Especially recommend you play it on PC. Skitty Live is a friend of mine, and he's someone that we've been trying to get over here to, the PC side for a while now. And I mean, the Resident Evil 4 remake looks amazing, and it's going to play extremely well on PC. I can't wait to see it. Skitty says Metroid Prime Remastered 2. Right, yeah, Metroid Prime Remastered. Also, this is a lot of remastered games coming out here. I mean, you also had the Dead Space remastered game come out, I believe it was a month ago, not too long ago. I mean, that had just came out as well. Speaking of coming out, as you come out in and out of the live stream, again, do be sure to hit the like button for me. While an unconventional video or live, still beneficial to hit the like button to get it out as many viewers as possible, especially the subscribers here who are subscribed to the Inside the Lab community. I appreciate y'all, and definitely. But when you look at the focus, at the end of the day, the focus is gamers wanting and looking to play video games, right? Not so much how much FPS can this $1,500 graphics card get. I'm not interested in a $1,500 graphics card because if you think about all that encompasses that, you should be on a monitor. You should be running a monitor that costs at least half the price of that graphics card, or you're not really getting the most out of that graphics card. If you're not on a 3840 by 2160, at least 144 hertz monitor with a graphics card in that price range, then it's like you're either dealing with some serious screen tearing or ghosting, artifacting on your monitor, and possibly quite worse. You could also burn out the pixels on your monitor a bit faster. So really consider how you want to play your games, the resolution and refresh rate, and the type of games you want to play. It's a message that we've been spreading here in this community arguably since day flipping one, since one of my first benchmarking videos. And at the time, I understood the importance before consulting anybody who say never dabbled or is unfamiliar altogether with PC gaming, right? Like a complete noob, somebody that just kind of walked into it, or they've been playing on console and they know that PC gaming might have been a little bit more expensive, 6-7 years ago than it is today. But I mean, today you have APUs that could, get it halfway done, or can get it done until you can add a GPU, right? at 1080p low settings at most, or one that's very similar to a graphics card. I mean, with machine learning AI like DLSS 3 that just came out and Fidelity FX super resolution, I mean, you have upscaling technologies at your hand, at your disposals, that consoles use too. It's something that I talked about a great deal in that $700 gaming PC build video. That, again, if you haven't watched yet, or if you know somebody who's been on the fence, share that video with them, right? Give it a watch, and you make the determination. Is that build worthy, even by today's standards, all that it can accomplish, which the idea was to present to you a console, not a console killing gaming PC, but a console alternative PC that will cost more than a PS5, arguably the better console to go with. Like, nothing against the Xbox Series SX. To me, that's one of the most super casual consoles one could get, or one that's best suited for like a young, like a young child. Because kids start gaming super early these days, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it's good to get them introduced to it now so that they understand the balance as they get a little older. Say their time becomes a little bit more demanding. School might get a little harder, right? Between first, second, and third grade or what have you. But kids start gaming at a super young age, and 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old range. I mean, they're not interested in FPS. They're not interested in maximum graphics and detail, right? They're interested in a gaming experience, just playing the games they love. And most of the time, Lab fam, we all know those are games that aren't even all that super demanding. Fortnite, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Warzone, if you will. I mean, those games aren't super demanding and could be experienced at a higher fidelity or a higher quality, to some extent, one that's not even noticeable unless you're running, some really cool mods in those games, especially like on Minecraft. But at the end of the day, they just want to play games. And with the Xbox Series SX, it has a place for gamers kind of in that age or price range, right? Maybe a PC is a bit too much, but a PS5, in my honest opinion, is the console of choice one should go with if you're not considering a gaming PC. Sure, you miss out on Xbox exclusives, but less. No shade towards Xbox. I mean, obviously, they're not going to send me anything, right? Microsoft isn't going to send me anything. But no shade to Xbox and their exclusive division. But I mean, think about what's been Microsoft's last good exclusive. That's really been like, hey, I need to buy an Xbox Series SX, or I need to build a PC to play this game. It's been the case. I mean, arguably, Sony has had some hitters, some bangers over the last couple of years, between the Horizon series, the reemergence of God of War, Days Gone. I mean, some of those games have trickled over to PC, sure, but that wasn't the case when they first came out. That won't be the case for the first Final Fantasy 16 either. That kind of bothers me a little bit, but it's all good. But yeah, I mean those games, all on Sony and all on the PS4, still look good and ran good. But you look at the PS5 and the level of detail that it's able to deliver at its price point, right? Like at the time of me considering shooting that series, again, watch the end of that video. But at the time of me consider shooting that series, I mean, you could pick up a PS5 for around $500, $550 USD. Maybe I'll bring up here in a second, and we'll see. We'll go on a hunt, see if they're still available or accessible at that price. But I mean, you can head to Amazon, $550 with a copy of God of War. I mean, that's not bad if you just want to play some games. And again, the PS5 having a lot of the same games you can play on PC be available, there as well over on the PS5. But making content, especially around my new schedule, has been the focus here as a creator for myself, and still finding a way to deliver value in a way that's worthy of not only being consumed but also being shared. I mean, the more you share creators' content, really, I mean, it's more significant than a like or even a super chat. I mean, super chats are great, don't get me wrong, but I mean, a share, you're not splitting anything with YouTube, and you have 100% of the benefits to gain from that. Really fast, I'm gonna get caught up in the chat. Spider Rule says the Steam Deck is a mobile APU. It can run crazy games at decent settings. And off the top of my head, I can't. The Ryzen-based APU underneath the hood of the Steam Deck. Can you confirm, Brother Ant? Spider Rule says it blows my mind. I can hook up my Steam Deck to a dock and play on my monitor or TV and use it either as a gaming console or use it as a PC. Yeah, I mean the Steam Deck. I need to get my hands on one. Great concept. I know at the time, I believe if I recall, the second iteration was being worked on, or they were coming up with some ways to enhance the Steam Deck. It would be nice if upgrades were at least attainable, even in the smallest form. But as a system that can do all of what just Sparta Rules share with us, makes it enticing even more than a PS5, right? Like a console, because you can pick it up and go just about anywhere with it. Still plug it up to a TV with a dock like the Nintendo Switch, and still very much enjoy games at a decent and high quality, right? But probably between at least medium to high, no higher than high, depending on the game. But like Spider Rule said, play GTA 5 at medium settings, and it's still a solid experience. I mean, again, this is the direction I think, and I strongly believe PC gamers are starting to shift their interest in, and that is games, playing games, getting the best possible gaming experience, whether that's on your couch, whether that's on a train, whether that's from the comforts of your living room on a large TV, or at a desk with a gaming PC and on a gaming monitor, right? Like, gamers really just want a good gaming experience, and PC gamers, this is where our interests now lie, right? Or this is where our interest is. This is the direction our interest is heading towards or heading into. Monitors have become low in price. It's time to either aim high and start with a high resolution, high refresh rate panel, or say upgrade to one. Now is the time to make upgrades that could immediately enhance your gaming experience. Going from a 1080p 60 hertz monitor to say a 1440p 144 hertz monitor. Or, if you daddy big war bucks, then you could splash on one of those 4K high refresh rate monitors with the introduction of a fancy new GPU down the road. But benchmark videos and overclocking videos and build videos, I mean, those are content that I still plan on creating here at the Inside the Lab with PC Hardware channel. Really just like to narrow that down to Inside the Lab. But at the time, I thought not a lot of people would subscribe if they didn't know what the hell we were inside the lab with. So I added with the PC Hardware part. But I mean, those videos are still going to be featured here on the channel. I likely will introduce them, say, on a monthly basis, a monthly build, and then do videos around that build, or guides again to get interest or to spark new interest in beginners who might be looking to dabble or work their way around in the used market and get into PC gaming. But the focus, I think, that as a platform and as a community that we are all heading into, especially with the launch of some of these new games that are highly anticipated. I don't want to say that are hyped, because we all should have learned our lesson with Cyberpunk 2077. I know I did. That's a game I didn't finish. I got damn near all the way to the Arasaka hotel or whatever it was and just didn't finish it. But the game's already spoiled for me, what have you. But still, we know not to overhype, games or whatever. But these are highly anticipated games. I think Starfield being one of them, especially for myself. I know for my personal rig or my personal gaming setup, which I'd likely do, I'll do a video around, a series around. But for my personal setup, I'm looking. I have a targeted gaming experience. I know I like to experience that game, And so I will build a machine that can deliver said target experience. And following our own advice here on this channel and community, that starts with the game, right? Starfield, and how I wish to experience that game, the refresh rate and resolution. So again, yeah, build videos, monthly build videos, or overclocking videos around those builds. More guides. I want to be more like helpful and informative to the community, still able to deliver value, even if it is in like a podcast format like now, or a live stream format like it is now. The live experience show likely will switch from, say, like every week to like every other week, till I can get, better situated in my new work schedule. But of course, you can always find me or reach out to me on all of my social media at any given time. My Twitter, I know Mrs. Mind had dropped a few links for me earlier in the chat, and I super appreciate that. But you can always reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram, right, or Facebook. Not the most popular one, but Twitter, and definitely if you ever want to reach out for me. And I typically share micro tweets about what's going on in between content breaks. But a weekly schedule is something that is important as to me as being a creator, and likely important to you as an audience when it comes to consistency. So that is an area I want to improve on, and getting back to weekly uploads, even if they are in a talking head format similar to this, with build videos and overclocking videos in between. I've dabbled in shorts, short form content, right? I'm still indifferent to them. I know the gurus and experts and coaches say, you kind of, keep up or get left behind kind of approach with short form content or shorts or vertical video in general. I uploaded a longer than 60 second short. Like 60 minutes. Could you fucking imagine that? Although it's only an hour, but it wouldn't be a short form video then. Well, that's a long time to hold a phone vertical, right? But still, it was under 60 seconds, right? And just to see how it performed as a vertical video only, and it didn't really take off as much as I thought it would. So I don't know. I'm indifferent to shorts, the vertical video altogether, but I will still incorporate them in between as kind of just fillers or informative like pieces of content. Long form content is something I've always valued as a creator, and especially here on this channel, and it's something that I will continue to create. I'm not a really big fan on short videos or creating shorter videos, but that's just me. So it really matters the most is you, the viewer, right? And what's a pleasurable viewer experience for you. Now, I'm always open to criticism. You can always, again, hit me up on social media, give me feedback over there, or right here on the comment section down below, say on videos. So I always love reading those. So yeah, that is essentially the where I wanted to go with this conversation or with this video and live stream. Didn't really have anything super planned in terms of content other than having a meaningful conversation, a heart-to-heart with the community, kind of let you know what's going on in my personal. Again, just to sum it up, started a new job a few months back, and just getting used to now having that schedule with my content creation schedule. I mean, I will share, I was on a personal mission until some things changed in my life personally about a year ago. I was on a personal mission to becoming a full-time content creator, and that's something I still am striving for. It just may take a little while longer, but that's okay, because I am more than comfortable with the role that I've been destined to play right now. And if that's micro part-time YouTuber in the tech space, then that's exactly the role I'm going to play, and I'm going to play it well. So with that said, I do appreciate you following along for the journey. If you haven't yet and you watched all the way through, either on the replay or here with me live, I do ask you to hit the like button for me. Again, this video, I mean, I'll leave it up, see how well it performs, as it is still fresh content for the channel, with a video I have planned coming up next week that it's kind of blended. It's been teased heavily here in this live stream. I mean, I'm just going to say that, but it's been teased heavily here in this live stream. Hell, is teased even more at the end of that last video we published, the $700 gaming PC build video we did. So you can give that one a watch. But in the next video, kind of address some things we mentioned in this live stream, and address some more of the content changes that's coming up here for the channel. But with that said, I do appreciate you all who came by just to do a quick recap. We had Sparta Rules and Skitty Live, Mrs. Mod, for holding down the live stream. We had a few people pop in and pop out, but if you're here on the replay and you made it this far, shout out to you. I appreciate you for giving the video a watch. Hopefully I have delivered enough personal value to earn your subscription if you haven't yet subscribed, and if not, I at least ask you to hit the like button for me to let me know a human being was here on the video and they got something out of it, even if it was mild entertainment. But with that out of the way, that's all I have for this one.